In a deeply ironic story reported in the Washington Post, establishment Democrats are now running to Bernie Sanders for help over fear of being hit by the protests that have plagued recent Republican town halls since Donald Trump got elected. Now, the Washington Post reports that senior Democratic lawmakers have asked Bernie Sanders to reach out and urge activists to redirect their anger at Republicans instead of moderate, in their words, I call them the establishment Democratic lawmakers. Now, this request came at a weekly meeting of top Democratic senators. According to a senator in attendance ahead of a congressional recess next week, when lawmakers in both parties are expected to face large crowds, stirred, of course, in recent weeks by President Trump's early executive actions and ongoing Republican attempts to gut the Affordable Care Act. Now, again, let me just point out the irony in this, right? Here's the establishment, Democrats, running to Bernie Sanders. Help me, Bernie! Help me! The people are angry. What do you do? What do you do? These are the same people that, of course, bashed him on television during the primary. And, of course, backed Hillary Clinton. These are the same people that said, oh, Bernie, he's not actually one of us. He's not a real Democrat. I mean, he's not one of us. Come on. I mean, this guy's crazy socialist. Come on. Irony. And here they go. They're running and crying for help. Please help us. Please save us from the angry hordes. Amazing. Again, this is because they see what the Republicans are going through. And they're like, oh, dear God, I don't want to be challenged. I am scared to death of the people. I love it. Now, I've reported, of course, that protesters have swarmed town halls and been scaring the shit out of Republicans. And look, it's gotten to the point where they had to come up with like escape plans. Like, okay, do I have a back door? Is there a back door that I can duck out just in case these people get mad? I mean, I don't want to tell them that I'm going to take away their health care. Ooh, because that's going to piss them off. Yeah, I don't want to face these protests. Normally town halls are just where, a few people come together and they agree with me. Now I actually have to face, people who don't agree with me. That scares me. Look, man, here's the thing. You shouldn't duck out of these meetings, these town halls, and you shouldn't have to be escorted by police just because you face protest. Look, this is free speech, okay? This is democracy in action. Maybe you should face your angry voters and be honest with them. But you don't want to do that. No. But here's the thing, right? I've said before, the people shouldn't be afraid of government. Government should be afraid of the people. You know why? Because you're supposed to work for us, not the large multinational corporations. No, we're your employer. No one else. And it's about time you got that in your head. Now, this report is actually written by Dave Weigel. Now, he writes that protesters have also gathered in blue states, marching to Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer's home in Brooklyn to demand the obstruction of Trump nominees, and showing up at the offices of safe seat Democrats to demand that they filibuster Trump's Supreme Court nominee, Neil Gorsuch. Now, I agree with that. You should filibuster him, not because yes, I have some issues with Neil Gorsuch, but again, as I've mentioned, that is a stolen Supreme Court seat. That belongs to Merrick Garland, again, somebody that I don't exactly have fond feelings for, because he is a centrist, because he is a corporatist judge. But again, that was President Obama's pick by law. And what they did is they obstructed for an entire year until Trump came into office. You can't do that. That is a stolen seat. Anyway, that's my problem there. Now, such episodes, Weigel writes, spurred Democrats to ask Sanders for help, according to Senator Joe Manchin, who attended the meeting on Tuesday. Now, of course, remember, Manchin is the guy who voted for every Trump nominee except for Betsy DeVos, who is Donald Trump's Secretary of Education, and his HHS pick, Health and Human Services pick, Tom Price. Now, Manchin said, they basically explained to Bernie, it looks like you could be the person that could calm down and make sure their energy and all this enthusiasm is directed in all the right proper channels. Bernie has a voice, and if protesters want to be active, then direct them to where the problem may be or where they anticipate a problem. But, Joe, you are the problem. You are the problem. Look, you're not only a very conservative Democrat, you voted for most of Trump's nominees and don't even back any progressive opinions or positions. Sure, like, he's probably anti-gay or not anti-gay and probably decent on some of the social issues. But on economic issues, a lot of them, and the environment, you're conservative. You are center-right. You're the first person progressives should go and protest. Followed by, of course, every single one who blocked Bernie Sanders, attacked progressives. Basically, anybody who bowed to the neoliberal agenda should face the wrath of what they wrought. And that wrath's coming. And look, Russia did not bring Hillary Clinton down. The emails did not bring her down. Hillary Clinton brought herself down with the help of establishment corporate Democrats, as well as the help of the media that elevated Donald Trump. Now, of course, now that the media realized the monster they created in Donald Trump, they are actually genuinely fighting back, but it's kind of too late. You can't put the angry orange genie back in the lamp. And now, he's going to be granting all the wishes of the far right. And you also can't put the angry voters back in the box. They're there, and they're pissed. And they should be. And look, that's on the DNC for running the worst candidate in history. So if anybody deserves to be hounded by protests, it's people like that. It's people like Joe Manchin. Now, Weigel continues. The request to Sanders came during a meeting with Schumer and a leadership team that stretches the ideological spectrum of his caucus. In addition to Sanders and Manchin, the group included Dick Durbin, Patty Murray, Debbie Stabenow, Elizabeth Warren, and Mark Warner, among many others. Now, they note that Manchin is one of the most imperiled Democrats facing re-election next year, one of 5 senators from states that Trump won in last year's presidential election. In total, 25 Democrats faced re-election in 2018. Now, look, 2018, we've had a lot of talk about this, right? Or we haven't had a lot of talk about this. And those who have mentioned it think that 2018 might be the magical Democratic resurgence. I don't know about that. You have 25 Democratic seats that are contested. This is not the time for milquetoast corporate Democrats. This is going to be a very hard fight. It's not going to be the time where progressives are going to automatically win back the Senate. There is that possibility. And depending on how bad Trump bungles the economy and what happens from now until then. But in either case, you can't just keep running the same old corporatist conservative Democrats, especially people like Joe Manchin, man. Now, look, this is why I want to see primaries. I want to see strong progressives primary people like Manchin. You go one step further from protest. Protest is great. I love them. Going and showing up at town halls, making your voice heard. I love it. It's fantastic. Now let's go to the next step. Let's primary their ass. And look, I hope this is why I support Justice Democrats, because that's what they intend to do. Manchin's got to go. I'd love to see a challenger propped up by Justice Democrats challenge Manchin in West Virginia. Look, Bernie Sanders won that in the primary. Bernie Sanders. He won one of the poorest counties in West Virginia. He had this message. It's the same county that Donald Trump won by 70 points. Bernie Sanders won by 55. You don't think Bernie Sanders, or a progressive for that matter, could have a chance in West Virginia? If you come out with a populist progressive message, that resonates with working people. Don't believe me? Look back in the primary. There is proof. And look, Manchin, yes, he's going to be defending his seat, and now he's fucking scared. Now, he said that the Democrats are unified in not wanting to repeal the ACA. It's unified. So why would protesters spend any energy on any member who's already committed to that? They might not like those of us who come from other parts of the country. That doesn't adhere to everything they say or want done. But on the big items, put your energy somewhere else. Bernie can deliver that message better than anybody else. Now, again, it's not about coming from different places. It doesn't matter where you're from. Americans are receptive to the message of economic justice. That's what Bernie Sanders ran on. That's why you got a lot of working class people. That's why you got a lot of independents. Because he talked about the truth. He said, look, we are being screwed. We're being screwed from the top. The corporations and the rich are taking too much, and they're taking it from you. There has been a massive redistribution of wealth from the middle class and the poor to the very, very rich. And all evidence and all of our data shows that that's happened, and shows what happens when you get rid of unions, when you pass right to work laws, when you lower the minimum wage, when you have stagnant wages, when you have this kind of divide between the haves and the have-nots. That's what Bernie Sanders' message was. And that, you know what? People know. People might not know the specifics, but they know when they're being screwed. And there are a lot of people out there that feel like they're being screwed. And that's why they voted for Donald Trump. But anyway, when it comes to Manchin asking Bernie, look, Bernie Sanders isn't just your errand boy that you can pull out to foil progressives, to calm them down, or to point them at Republicans. No, that's not what that's not what he's there for. They're pissed. Okay? The people are pissed. And they've got you to thank for that, Joe. We have Donald Trump thanks to you. Thanks to other people like you. So don't sit there and say, well, you got to aim it at the problem. No, you are the problem. And you may want to protect the ACA, but to a lot of us, that's not enough. We wanted single payer. We wanted at least a public option, and you fought against both of those things. Why should we be on your side now? You've never been on ours. Now, there's the request. Now, let's get to Bernie's response. In a statement, Sanders made no mention of the Democrats' request and did not deny that it happened. He also said that he would keep lobbying for a measure that would make it easier to reimport cheaper prescription drugs from Canada, an issue that has divided Democrats. Last month, when 12 members of the Senate Democratic Caucus broke with Sanders, they took a larger than expected amount of friendly fire from progressive activists. Now, Weigel, let me clue you in on this. That ain't friendly fire. See, we're not with you if you're not with us. If the Democrats are not with us, then we're going to go after you. Cory Booker, for no reason other than he got millions of dollars from the pharmaceutical industry, blocks a measure that would make prescription drugs cheaper for regular Americans. There's no reason why we shouldn't form a firing squad. Not literal, figurative, of course. A political squad that's going to primary him and take him out of office. And that's what this is. It ain't friendly fire, because it ain't friendly, because we know you're not working for us. But anyway, again, the reason is progressives are pissed, and we should be. Now, Sanders continues. The good news is that during the budget debate, 34 Democrats sided with 12 Republicans to substantially lower the cost of prescription drugs through reimportation. During the last several weeks, my office has been working with hard with those Democrats who voted against this amendment to write a strong bill that they could support. We'll also be working with the Republicans who voted against the amendment. See, look, while these Democrats are out there worrying about, oh my God, how am I supposed to face these crowds of angry people? Bernie Sanders is out there working on policy. You know, the same thing that he's always been doing. He's not getting involved in this one way or the other, because right now he's a little too busy trying to save the fucking country. He doesn't have any time to sit there and defend establishment Democrats. No. He's in the warpath against Donald Trump, but he's also trying to do policy. And I don't think that he should go and defend them, especially somebody like Manchin, who is now a target of progressives. In fact, Weigel notes that after Monday night's vote to confirm Steve Mnuchin as Treasury Secretary, the Progressive Change Campaign Committee urged its members to complain to Manchin. Quote, he voted with Wall Street and against working families. Can you call him right now to express disapproval with this vote? The PCCC asked in his email blast. Senator Manchin needs to hear from constituents that voting with Wall Street is the opposite of being independent. It's favoring the big guys against the little guy. That's the opposite of what West Virginians need. Manchin said on Tuesday, quote, that he's not worried about confronting progressive activists back home. Yeah, that's bullshit. Quote, I'm not concerned about it at all. It is what it is. I love people to come and voice their thoughts. Do you? Do you, man? Okay. We'll take that as your word. Now he says if they're coming to disrupt, make sure they're going to the people who are opposing what they're for. And look, that's exactly why they're coming after you, Joe. So hey, if you like hearing people voice their thoughts, it's great. Great. Be prepared, because you're about to hear from all of us. Go ahead. Contact Senator Manchin. Be respectful, but tell him why exactly you oppose the stuff that he stands for. Tell him that you want him to be more progressive. If not, we're coming for you. We're going to primary you. You send the message, he'll listen. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.